Within the jersey community, there is countless terms and code names used to describe jerseys, probably the most so within the hockey jersey community. I'm the Jersey Jaguar, and today I'm going to cover Indos, specifically Adidas versus Reebok Indos, what are Indos, how the two companies are different, and a bunch of other stuff. With that said, let's get to it. All right, so we have a lot to cover. Bear with me, it's gonna be a little bit longer video. Also, for those of you who already know most of this information, I still hope that you truly enjoy the video. And for those of you who are still learning, hopefully by the end of this video, you gain some knowledge that you could put to use. All right, guys, so what are Indos? Indos are jerseys that are made in Indonesia and are used as retail authentics. MICs are jerseys that are made in Canada and are what the players wear on ice. So Adidas currently supplies the NHL with their jerseys. They have Indos and they have MICs. Before Adidas, it was Reebok who supplied the NHL. They had Indos and they also had MICs. So guys, what we're going to look at is the differences between Adidas Indos and Reebok Indos, specifically Reebok Edge 2.0s and Adidas Prime Green, being that those are the two most current versions per each respective company. One thing I want to say before this, guys, is that a lot of hockey guys don't even consider Edge 2.0 Indos true edges, but for ease of the video and for ease to follow, I'm still going to call them Edge 2.0s, even though they are the retail authentic versions, just like Adidas Indo Prime Greens are the retail authentic version. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go over a quick overview of the front and the back of the jerseys. Now, guys, as you can see, the Edge does have wider shoulders. It is a little bit more tapered, giving it a more sleek design. And when you see up close coming up in this video, it does have more variation within the materials. Besides that, guys, the jerseys are pretty much roughly the same. All right, and now when we got the jerseys turned around, you can see it's, again, pretty much really close in terms of overall shape and design. Obviously, the logos are different, plus a few other things, but besides that, not too much. All right, guys, so we are at the close-ups and details part of the video. Keep in mind though, every jersey in this video is going to be a size 50. And in this part of the video, I'm going to be using multiple jerseys per brand to be able to showcase them the best. All right, and we're gonna go through the materials now, starting with the main material of the jerseys in the front of the body. Now guys, at the bottom, we got the Reebok Indo Edge 2.0. All right, on the top, we got the Indo Prime Green. Now guys, as you can see on the Reebok here, it is airnet material, a slight variation of the CCM airnet. And on top, we got the standard Adidas material, which is a variation of dimple mesh. And then on both jerseys here on the sides, we got the airflow mesh here to work as vents. The Reebok is going to be a little tighter perforation and a little bit more silky to the touch. Here on the Adidas, it's going to be bigger perforation, right? And not as smooth as on the Reebok. All right, guys, so we have the shoulders. Now the shoulders on the Reebok is going to be, again, that Reebok airnet. And on the Adidas, it is going to be more of that standard dimple mesh. However, it is going to be stamped, creating a dimple effect. Now, guys, on the MICs, those dimples are much more prominent and it looks much better than on the Indos. All right, guys, so on the sleeves on both the Reebok and the Adidas, there's going to be variation within the materials, specifically on the stripes. Now, guys, and again, for both brands, I have seen variations even within teams within the same brand. All right, so now we're on the back of the jerseys. Guys, on the Adidas, you can see already, the vent material is different than the back material. And on the Adidas, the back and the front material are the same. Now, on the Reebok, the vent material and the back of the jersey material are going to be the same, and the back of the jersey on the Reebok is going to be a different material than we've seen on the front of the jersey. All right, so obviously, guys, I'm not going to label which is which. You can see already on the top we got the Reebok, the bottom we got the Adidas. Guys, obviously the logos are going to be different, but you can see the panelization is different between the two, as well as the collar hem. We're going to get into that next. All right, guys, so looking more at the necklines on the top, we're going to have the Adidas, and as you can see, it is going to be a plastic shield with a metallic effect. And here on the bottom, we got the Reebok with a embroidered shield that's standard gray. Guys, you can also see they have similar sizing and branding. On the left, we got the made in Indonesia. Then in the middle, we got the respective logos. And then off to the right, we do have the sizing. One thing I want to mention that on the Adidas, on the reverse retro 2.0s, that shield is going to be orange colored and it's going to be embroidered, as you can see right here. All right, guys, so we are onto the front crests. Now, regardless of the brand, front crests are definitely going to vary by team. But guys, one thing I want to mention on the Adidas here, as you can see on the left, this material and this material is the same. So if the body material is the same as one of the crest colors, they're going to just have that material be the same. Now on Reebok, the whole crest is pretty much going to be tackle twill with embroidery, regardless of if it's the same color or not. And again, guys, you got teams like the Blackhawks that both on Adidas and Reebok are going to have tackle twill with that thick chain stitching, as you can see right here. All right, one thing about tagging that the Adidas has that the Reebok doesn't is that little prime green tag. It basically says end plastic waste and has kind of like a globe logo on there, and that's pretty much it. All right, we got the Adidas on the left and the Reebok on the right. So guys, we're gonna start with the customization. Now, both of these are customized by machine, meaning factory customization, and both are tackle twill. I wanna note though, that before prime green, Adidas used the vinyl twill, meaning the faux vinyl on their customization. Reebok always used tackle twill. Now guys, also note that on Adidas, a lot of teams do use perforation. However, on the MICs and, you know, obviously the team issues and gamers, there is a lot of variations within the teams about what they use. All right, guys, the inside of the jerseys. Now, again, Adidas on the left, Reebok on the right. As you can see, again, like I said, both are factory customized. And I want to say again that you will see situations where both are hand stitched. I have seen more hand stitched Reeboks than I have Adidas. However, there are both cases for each brand. In terms of the factory customization, I think Reebok's going to be a little bit cleaner. Not too much difference though. I mean, they're both like not hand stitched is what it is. All right, guys, since we are on the inside of the jerseys, might as well finish off by looking at the fight straps. I mean, they're pretty much, you know, really close in terms of construction. Reebok's going to be a thinner strap and longer versus Adidas is going to be a little bit wider and shorter. Not too much really to say besides that. All right, it's time for the measurements part of the video. Guys, I have a video on how to measure jerseys, so I'm going to post it in the description. I'm just going to skip straight over to the measurements right now. I broke it up into sections so it's easier to follow. All right, starting with the most common type of measurement, it's gonna be pit to pit, which is across the chest. For the Reebok Edge 2.0, we have 23.5, and for the Adidas Prime Green, we got 22.25. All right, now top to bottom, meaning the length of the jersey. On the Reebok, we're gonna have 32 inches. On the Adidas Prime Green, we're gonna have about 31.5 to 31.75 inches. Now for the body measurement, we're gonna have on the Reebok 22.5, and for the Prime Green, we're gonna have 22.25. Now in terms of the waist on both jerseys, they're going to slightly flare out. We have 24 inches on the Reebok and 23 on the Prime Green. Now for the shoulder measurement, meaning from the inside of the collar to the end of the shoulder hem, for the Reebok, we are going to have 8.75, and for the Adidas, we're going to have 6.25. So for the full sleeve measurement, now we're going to go from the inside of the collar all the way down to the edge of the sleeve. For the Reebok, we're going to have 31.25, and for the Prime Green, we are going to have 29.5. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you how the jersey fits now. I'm a little over 6'2", 189 centimeters, 186 pounds, 84.5 kilograms. All right, guys, so we're going to start with the recap. On the left, we got the Adidas Prime Green, and on the right, we got the Reebok Edge 2.0. Now, guys, again, like I said, some people do not consider Indo edges actually edges. but for this video, we're going to call them edges. Now, guys, for retail wise, on the Adidas Prime Greens, we got 225 to 250. Reverse retros are a little bit more. And then on the edge, they were 300 to 350, if I remember correctly. Obviously, in both situations, the pro shops might charge more than the standard first-party retailers. Now, for materials-wise, on the Adidas, we're going to have 4 materials. We're going to have the standard prime green material that's used on the Adidas. We're going to have the vent material, the material on the trim and the stripes and the neck. And then, obviously, we are going to have that shoulder stamped dimple material, if you want to consider that a separate material. Then on the Reebok, we are going to have basically 3. We're going to have that standard Reebok AirNet. Then we got the vent material, which is also the same on the back, and then any trim materials. And again, guys, the materials is going to vary by team. So for each brand, different teams are going to have different amount of materials and different designs slightly. Now on the Adidas, it's going to be a lighter weight, more flimsier feeling jersey. And on the Reebok, it is going to feel heavier and better constructed. All right, guys, so on the Adidas, like I said, they had the unique shoulders, but on the Reebok, the jersey feels better ventilated, in my opinion. The Adidas are easier to find. Like I said, the Reebok, though, are obviously now harder to find, meaning that they're older. Even at that time, they weren't as available as the Adidas currently are now. The Adidas fits definitely smaller with shoulder sleeves. The Reebok fits slightly bigger, but it has wider shoulders, longer sleeves, and a little bit nicer of a taper versus the Adidas dress style fit. All right, so for the winner, I'm taking the Reebok. For me, it does have a better fit. They feel better constructed in hand, and overall, I think it is a better jersey. A lot of information to cover, but guess what? We got through it. Hopefully now you guys have a better understanding between Adidas and Reebok Indos. Hopefully you'll be able to put that information to use. If you guys liked the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. Also, let me know which version do you like better, the Reebok version or the Adidas version. If there's a video you'd like to see me do in the future, don't hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to get it done. Guess what? I'm going to see you at the next one.